Hi, today we're going to talk about our hair. But it can be quite a hairy subject. Why? Well, because it's a very emotive subject to talk about. If you tell someone their hair looks awful, it can really upset them. But if you tell them it looks fantastic, well, I think you can guess. So you really need to know how to say the right thing. Also in this lesson, we'll take a look at some idioms about hair. And there are lots of them. Oh, and before I forget, I'll give you some Cockney rhyming slang about hair at the end of the video. So keep your hair on and come this way. First of all, I must point out that hair is an uncountable noun. Uncountable. Why? Because when you look at someone's hair, it's usually impossible to count each strand of hair. I say usually because there are some people who do not have much hair, and sometimes none at all on their head. They might be bald, or sometimes older people might have what's called a comb over, where the long hair is combed over the bald bit on top. Oh, and by the way, comb has a silent B at the end, so it's pronounced comb, not comb. If hair is thinning and showing patches of baldness, sometimes people have a hair weave. This is false hair that's woven into someone's own hair so that it looks thicker and more natural. Mind you, I haven't had a hair weave in mine. As hair is a very emotive subject for some people, I never joke about the way anyone's hair looks, as they can get very upset. So if you know someone who has a hair problem, it's best not to mention it. I usually compliment someone if their hair looks nice. It puts them in a great mood, and it's safer that way, believe me. My husband is beginning to get a receding hairline, which means less and less hair is growing at the front, like this. So back to hair being an uncountable noun, because there are times when it is actually a countable noun. Often when it's body hair, for example on the chest, when you can actually count the number of hairs. You might say, I've never been particularly hairy. I don't have many hairs on my chest or my legs or my arms, etc. There's also facial hair, very popular at the moment with men, not so popular with women. It's usually described as a beard or moustache or stubble if it's just beginning to grow. But as a woman, you might find a couple of stray hairs on the face or even the chin. My advice is pluck them out as soon as you see them. So how would you describe your hair? Is it thick, thin, curly, fine, long, short, straight, wavy? As you can see, I've got a bit mad today and put my hair in bunches. It's quite thick and wavy hair. How do you wear your hair? All up or just down? Or half up, half down? Ponytails are very popular with both men and women with long hair. Maybe you have a fringe. Very good for hiding wrinkles. Or maybe you have dreadlocks like this. Men's hairstyles have a lot of fade haircuts that are done with clippers. But you normally need to go to the barbers for these. So now let's move on to the idioms. So let's get started. Number 1, keep your hair on. If you say this to someone, it means you're telling them not to get angry or upset. But it can be a little offensive if said to someone you don't know very well. Number 2, let your hair down. If you do this, it means you relax and enjoy yourself because you're on holiday. Number 3, to make someone's hair curl. This is a humorous way to describe when someone suddenly feels shocked. Number 4, to make someone's hair stand on end. If something does this, it makes you feel very frightened. Number 5, to not harm or touch a hair on someone's head. This means to not harm someone in any way. Number 6, to not have a hair out of place, to look very tidy and clean. Number 7, the hair of the dog. This is a humorous way to say someone needs an alcoholic drink. The hair of the dog. To make them feel better after they've drunk too much the night before and now have a raging hangover. Number 8, to tear or pull your hair out. This is informal, which means you feel very worried or annoyed about something because you don't know what to do about it. Number 9, to not turn a hair. This means to not seem at all surprised or shocked. Number 10, to split hairs. To argue or worry about very small differences in details that are not important. Oh, by the way, if you have split ends, the ends of your hair are split into 2 or more parts, and it's time to go to the hairdressers or barbers. And now, as promised, here is my Cockney Rhyming Slang. These are very old phrases which originate from the heart of London's East End. If you wear a wig, in Cockney Rhyming Slang, you're wearing a syrup. I'll repeat that. A syrup. Why? Because syrup is short for syrup of figs. And figs rhymes with wigs. So instead of saying he's wearing a syrup of figs, or even he's wearing a wig, we just say he's wearing a syrup for short. He's wearing a syrup. What do you think? If you'd like to see some of these idioms used in my own personal true life story, see my next video. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. In the meantime, love and